Incoming NYPD Commissioner Keechant Sewell hit the ground running yesterday, minutes after she was introduced to the city. This morning, she sat down with News 4.
What have the last 24 hours been like for you?
Yesterday, I was able to go into 1PP and start talking with some of the leaders of the NYPD so we can develop some initiatives. We want to do gun interdiction, we want to do anti-gun units, we want to do all sorts of things that we can use to stop the violence in the city.
Sewell grew up in Jamaica, Queens and attended Andrew Jackson High School before going on to graduate at John Jay College of Criminal Justice. She's joining the NYPD after 25 years in the Nassau County Police Department.
I went to the 5th Precinct in Elmont. I drove a 501 car, I have to say that. That's part of my identity. It was a great group of people.
There she worked as an officer stationed in schools and eventually at a home for girls. She moved up the ranks, becoming inspector, leading the Major Case Bureau, taking down violent gangs like MS-13.
We had significant success in apprehending and breaking up some of the violence and activity of the MS-13 gang.
She says that will be her approach to tackle violent crime in the city, but also notes that recidivism won't stop unless judges have discretion, like when to set bail for violent reoffenders.
I think judges have to have the discretion to be able to determine when a person should be released and when they should not be. I certainly think that someone who is only held because they don't have enough money to get themselves out has to be looked at on an individual basis.
Sewell is a member of the Joint Terrorism Task Force, and she plans to quickly get an assessment of the threats facing the city.
Terrorism is a primary concern in addition to the violence, obviously, in New York City. We're the #1 terrorist target in the country. But I certainly want to make sure that the NYPD is focused on counterterrorism.
Enforcement of quality of life concerns, known as broken windows policing, was the very strategy involved in the death of Eric Garner.
You said you'd go after quality of life concerns when it's appropriate.
Quality of life crimes at some points lead to bigger crimes, lead to more serious crimes. So I think you have to have a balance when you're enforcing those things, and sometimes there are social services that can intervene in those crimes as opposed to policing.
Sewell's mother passed away last year and didn't get to see her become Nassau's top investigator, nor be named New York City Police Commissioner.
What would your mother make of this moment?
She would have absolutely been thrilled, and it actually deeply, I think about it honestly, and I say to myself, what would she have said the day that I told her?
Sewell will spend the next few weeks meeting with department and community leaders and then takes the helm on January 1st. In Lower Manhattan, I'm Miles Miller, News 4 New York.